Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to descale this Bunn Speed Brew Platinum Thermal Carafe Tin Cup Coffee Maker. Model number 55200 CSB3T. So I just did a detailed review on this. I also showed you how to set it up for the first time. Those are very important steps for setting this up. So if you're new to Bunn coffee makers operate a little bit different. They have a holding tank back here that's keeping the water warm at all times. So you may hear the water kind of boiling a little bit and then it doesn't. That's why they call these speed brews, because when you put water in, it displaces the hot water, that forces the hot water through the funnel into the carafe, brews your coffee. So here I cut open a really old Bunn coffee maker. This was the tank out of a Bunn coffee maker that sits back here, okay? See how much hard water builds up inside them if you don't keep up on descale? That is all hard water deposits that are surrounding that heating element. So what happens is your coffee starts to taste really bad, but it won't be as hot and it's really loud. So this is why we descale. A typical coffee maker, you know, it's only on when you put the water in. So we put the water in, it comes down here. It's only got a little bitty heating element. It just heats the water when we're brewing coffee. So it takes the cold water, shoots it up over the head, and then it turns itself off after it's done. But Bunn coffee makers are different. They have this holding tank, and that's why we need to descale them. If you're ever gonna they've got this switch on the side. The switch we leave on all the time, except when we go on vacation or not. If we're not gonna brew coffee for a week or two, we turn this switch off. That turns that heating element off inside there. Otherwise, we leave it on. It's constantly maintaining that tank in there at a certain temperature. So the first part we're going to do is we need to clean the spray head first, and then we're going to do the descale with vinegar. Okay, so you don't want to do this right after you've brewed coffee, but we're going to get to that spray head up there. Again, it can be hot, but it just unscrews. They're usually not on there super tight. See how it's got threads? And then there's threads up there. Again, that's hot water coming out there, so be careful. So here we've got the spray head. Hard water deposits will build up on these holes. So just put a toothpick in, make sure they're nice and clean. You really can't get to them too much from this side, a little bit. And then take this over to your sink and rinse this out with water really well. Okay, so now I've got the vinegar. I like to leave that brew head off. We're gonna put it on at the end, but let's just put the funnel, make sure there's no filter or coffee. Put this back on. Make sure your carafe is empty. You're going to need 32 ounces of vinegar. This jug is $1.50 from Walmart. It's 64 fluid ounces, so I'm going to just use half of it. So they want you to dump the whole 32 ounces of vinegar up here, of the pure vinegar. It comes up to about the 6-cup mark. Okay, then they want you to close the lid. Now the vinegar is going to start flowing into the reservoir, back into here and cleaning that heating element. So we're going to keep an eye out. When the water stops flowing, we're going to turn that switch off and let it sit for 2 hours. So that water coming out of there is really hot, so be careful. But we're going to wait for this to stop flowing water. So what's happening is that vinegar is going down. It's going to take the place of the hot water that's in there now. And then once that vinegar is in here, it's going to sit. And we're going to let it sit for 2 hours. It's going to soak up all that stuff, and hopefully it's going to flush. When we do some fresh water flushes, it's going to flush out the hard water deposits. So Bunn does recommend you do have to descale these a little more often, every 3 months. A typical coffee maker, it's usually 3 to 6 months. I would definitely keep up on the descale on these. Okay, so the water has stopped flowing. That means we don't have any more water coming out. The carafe is full. We can take it out. You're going to come over here and you're going to turn this switch off. Now we need to let it soak for 2 hours. They want you to unplug it too. So unplug the coffee maker and turn that switch off for 2 hours. Okay, so it's been the 2 hours. I emptied this. This had water in it, so just make sure this is empty. Put the funnel back. Again, the spray, the nozzle is off. We're going to leave this off till the end. So even after the 2 hours, leave it unplugged and the switch off. We got to do some fresh water rinses with the switch off. Okay, you're just going to dump your fresh water in here. Fill it up to the 10 mark. and then just close this. That's going to empty out that reservoir with the vinegar. So now your vinegar is going to be coming out of here. So this process I just showed you here with it off, of filling this with vinegar or filling this with fresh water, running it through. See, it's gonna stop flowing here in a little bit. That's a freshwater rinse. We need to do that 3 to 4 times. So I'll empty this. I'll go fill it up with fresh water, dump it in here, close the lid, and it's gonna run it through. We're not worried about it heating up. We're not worried about the switch being on. We just want to do some rinsing. Okay, so I'm finishing up my 3rd rinse. Again, when this got full, when this stopped running, I just went and emptied this, filled it up with fresh water, put it in here, put the lid down, and it just ran through. So I did that 3 times, and we're just finishing up the 3rd time. It doesn't take long for that water to run through there. About 3.5 minutes each time. And each time I kind of rinse this out with some water and a brush. Okay, so now it's time to get the brew head. We're going to reinstall it. Everything should be cooled down. It's got some threads. It goes on there pretty easy. You don't want to tighten down this super tight. Just spin it. Just give it a good snug. That's it. Now the brew head is installed. Okay, so since we ran water through there 3 times, our tank is full now of just fresh water. All the vinegar should be out of there. Now it's time, plug it in, turn the switch on, and it's going to take 15 minutes for it to warm up before you can brew a pot of coffee. It is quite a bit of work for a Bunn coffee maker to descale, but it is important to keep on top of it. It's just more work because they are so fast. That's the reason they're fast, is you got to do a little more work. So thanks everybody for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe.